Neewern narik dien, wadarang aktanuk, makbarian wadarang bagaruk, manamaith mirabea, nailinga wadarang bake, karingarabu bunjo the eagle, wa the crow, kimbani ba Deanne Gilson. Welcome to Wadarang Country.
Live from Wadarang Country, welcome to Lance TV. Coming to you from the palatial new Camp Street Studios in Ballarat, get ready to laugh, think, love and sparkle. And now, it's time to turn that camp dial all the way up to fabulous. Here's your host, the multi-award-winning Lance-tastic, Lance de Boyle.
Welcome, you're watching Lance TV. I'm Lance de Boyle, and we're coming to you live from Wadarang Country, her resting place of Bunjil the Eagle, here in Ballarat. The resting place, 2 words, 4 A's. 8 A's, according to my hands. Please, pull up a seat. Make yourself at home. Thank you to our wonderful audience member, who's also our camera person and floor manager, the lovely Cheryl, who's up for volunteer award at the upcoming Victorian Pride Awards. That was for you, Cheryl, because be rude to clap for yourself. No. Not that you haven't before, but you know, that's how we roll. Welcome. We hope you, whatever the show was before us, probably a fishing show, we hope you've got your tackle under control and got your hooks and everything all lined up for the weekend. Be beautiful weather for a bit of sea bream, I'd say. And if you were tuning in hope to watch Bent TV, you're about an hour early. But welcome, stick around. We are an LGBT IQA+ variety chat show. And before we go into it, I'd just like to bring up, as many of you might know, just outside of Ballarat, there was some horrendous fires up, I think it was the Wimmera region, and it was quite an intense time up there. So anybody who is a firey, part of the SES, fire person, family thereof, friend, lover, all of the above, please pass on our highest regards and our thanks to all of those people who had been out there fighting the fires. Wednesday was going to be a hullabaloo sort of a day, but thankfully that hot change came through quite late and everyone was able to get on top of what was happening up in the Wimmera region. Beaufort was a little bit scary in Beaufort as well. I think Beaufort's about 30 or 40 kilometres not far from Ballarat. So again, Wednesday's weather allowed for a lot of good things to happen. So to everybody who helped keep us all safe in this area. And I want to talk about somebody else who keeps us all safe in this area, and that's tonight's guest. And that guest is the wonderful Holly Wood. Darling, how are you?
No, Oprah hug. No, we can do a real one.
Oh, darling. There you go. Pull up a seat.
Thank you.
How are you?
Oh, I'm quite good, quite good.
In the scheme of things?
Yeah, it's quite fantastic to be me, really.
Oh, and so humble with it as well.
Yeah, humility.
Now, before we go too much further into this, you have a special hello that you would like to call out. Now, your camera's just there and off you go.
I do. Hello, Blaine. It's Mummy and I love you lots, my darling boy. Mwah, mwah.
There we go. Yay!
Yay for
there
Blaine.
You go, Blaine. That's. And Mummy said that you can talk to her, but she may not hear you.
Yeah.
So knock yourself out, Blaine. You are known about town as somebody who's highly creative.
Yes.
And you are one of 3 marvellous people who have a studio in the, it used to be the Bridge Street Mall. I don't know, what do they call it now?
Yeah, just Bridge Mall, yeah.
Is it still a mall or is it Bridge Street?
No, it's Bridge Mall because people get confused otherwise with Little Bridge Street. There ain't no buses. There's no buses going through Bridge Mall.
Well, not at the moment.
Not today.
Not today, but maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see.
Didn't they find a bridge? Did I hear correctly on the radio the other day that they've unearthed the bridge? Well, that's why it was called Bridge Street.
I don't know.
There's actually a bridge there, and now they're having to throw a bit more money at it because you know, if they don't do something now, it could collapse later. So
That'd be interesting, though.
Yeah,
I'd
well,
like to see how that plays out, to be honest.
well, historically, really super interesting.
Yeah.
Because when I heard it was like, oh, of course it'd be a bridge. That's why they call it Bridge Street.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's still Bridge Mall, though.
Yeah.
Despite you.
Or Little Bridge Street.
You're really pushing for Bridge
Well,
Street.
I don't. Well, how can you call it the mall when there's no mall there anymore?
Yeah, well,
the
true.
mall got mauled.
You did.
According to our friend Linda. Linda Franklin coined that, didn't she?
Yeah, I think she did actually, yeah.
Bridge Street mauled.
Yeah, Bridge Street Mall. All right, I'll give you
Mauled.
that. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
Bridge
yeah.
Street Mauled. Yeah.
Amazing. Very cool. Well, look, we have a whole heap of things that we would like to present tonight. One of those things is our segment called Lance TV's Arts Corner. And here it is.
Hi, I'm Lay Kathleen and I'm a non-binary digital artist / painter. I've been doing art since I was like 3 or 4, so like my whole life. Originally I was from Castlemaine, but I moved to Ballarat about 5-6 years ago, and I've been here ever since. I mean, it's a really, really big part of my identity, I would say, just like the need to just constantly be creating and just like bringing something into the world at all times. But it just means like the absolute world to me. Art's always been a way for me to just vent like any emotion that I'm having that may be a bit too much for me to process. It's just, I can create something and put all of that energy into there. I do a lot of digital art. Being autistic, I have a lot of sensory issues in regard to like physical mediums, so digital art's been really good because like no messy hands or anything like that. As of right now, I'm staying pretty digital. I have started doing sort of fiber art stuff, a lot of crochet. I've been working on like making little clown dolls and stuff like that. So that's something I definitely want to explore, being able to make more physical things. But honestly, like, I don't think I could ever not be creating at any time. So I never really have like a full set direction of this is where I see myself going. I'm just like, just keep creating and keep my hands busy. Like, I've always done very sort of surrealist stuff, like before I even realized that it was like surrealist. And it wasn't until I went to art school, which was a few years ago now, doing like a Cert 3 in visual art, that I could kind of put a name to what I'd been doing and what I'd been drawn to, like all through my art practice. It's just kind of that calling of like the unknown and the surreal stuff, but then there's a lot of influence from like pop culture and just stuff that I like. And yeah, it just now that I have a name for it, it just feels very comfortable and it feels very me. My whole clown, I guess, fixation kind of started about like 3 years ago. I went through like the loss of my mum, and clowns were just such a comfort for me. I don't know if it's because they're a weird sort of surrealist, what would you call it? Sort of like a, like they appear happy, and it's that mask of happiness that's on all the time, and they're supposed to bring joy, but any other emotion could be going on behind there that you're just not going to know about. And I just kind of relate to them in that way, and just like they're kind of silly and aesthetically pleasing. So I'm just kind of a clown person now. Ideally, I would love to like make people feel something when they see my pieces. And it's like there's no right or wrong feeling they could get from it, but just something, and just like allowing, like as I said before, like the unconscious mind to just like filter through and just become like a physical, like material, tangible thing. That I'd say that's like the main thing. Oh, one of my favorites was an oil painting that I did. It was actually in the one of the Frolic art shows from, I want to say last year, and it won like the People's Choice little award thing. It's actually kind of behind me, you can't really see it, but it's like a big portraiture of a clown that's segmented into different kind of Frankenstein, sort of like different like sections of clown paint. And it was kind of meant to represent for me anyway, emotionally, that I'm not any one of my parts. Like all the stuff that I've been through and all the stuff I feel identity-wise and just through like experiences in my life, they all come to make me. So I'm more than just any one segmented piece. It's probably one of my favorites that I've done in quite a long time. As of right now, I'm mostly just on Instagram and on Facebook as well. You can find me there. No matter what level of creation you're at, and no matter what it is, and no matter what like you see it being, like the fact that you've created something is amazing and just absolutely brilliant. So it's like never be discouraged whatever level you're at. You can just like you've made something from your creativity like into the world, and that's just really cool.
Hello, Facebook, how you going? We are just on break on Channel 31, and I'm looking in the thread, and Geordie Lineker has tried to get Thomas Lineker's attention. Very interesting. Maybe they're friends of Lay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Lay's a friend of yours as well, yeah?
Well, Lay has had their work at TBH Studio, yes.
Ah.
So they began with one of our fitting room exhibitions, and then their work was moved out to be on consignment. Yes.
Amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
And so with the dressing room display, is that kind of the entry level point of this is how you put a smaller exhibition together and grow to have a bigger one? Or?
Yeah, that's right. And it's a good practice space, and it's not intimidating for people who might be exhibiting for the first time as well, and it's really affordable. It's $20, it's yours for the month. You know?
Wow.
Yeah, and it's yours for the month to do
That's
with...
less than $1 a day.
What you will, I know, right? How good it, so it's,
I'm in my head going, it's about 73 cents a day.
Yeah, so it's this really nice, and for people who've never had one before, you know, it's a really nice way to give them experience, and they can put it on their CV, you know.
Oh, of course.
Which is wonderful, yeah.
Amazing. So how long ago did Lay...
Would have been last year.
Yeah, right, so pretty recent.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that about TBH, so sort of this small area, because I have friends who are visual artists, and I know they borderline have nervous breakdowns, putting pieces, you know, getting pieces ready for an absolute exhibition. So having that experience in a smaller level, it's probably the same amount of meltdown.
Yeah, it is. It is. I had someone come in today actually who'd been working up, you know, trying to battle their nerves to come into TBH for quite some time. They said that they'd been following us for quite some time, and so I showed them the fitting rooms, and I could see that their anxiety was visual to me. You know, I could see it, and so I'm like, I'm not going to let this person leave without booking them in for one.
Well done.
No way. You know, I thought it would be so sad for them to have come in and then leave and then go, I wish I had have. And I was like, no, I'm just going to start right.
Welcome back. You're watching Lance TV. I'm Lance DeBoyle, and I'm sitting here with the most wonderful Holly Wood.
Thank you. Thank you.
Darling, I tell you what, we are at the part of the show where we begin the interview. Are you ready?
I'm all in. I'm there. I'm here.
That's consent. That is consent. You heard it here first.
That was a yes. That was a yes.
Yeah. And you can change your mind at any point
at any
in time.
That's right.
That'll be fine.
Yeah.
Now, Hollywood, in the 7 years, and I always like to prattle on about this, we've been doing this show, we're in our 7th year now, and we're entering our 4th year on community television.
Yeah.
We've always asked this question of our guests.
Yeah.
Where were you born?
Me, well, it's not where I was born, but it was where I grew up, was Broadford.
Oh,
Broadford,
now where's Broadford's?
Country
town.
town.
I'm glad you finished that sentence.
Yeah.
That's just north of Melbourne, isn't it? Up the road a bit?
Up the Hume.
Up the other side of Sunbury?
Yeah, up the Hume towards Seymour. Some people know Seymour. Broadford was only ever known if you said you were from Broadford. It was known for, that's where the Hells Angels had their parties,
Yep.
and the home of Nestle or Allen's Lollies. Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't know that about Broadford, but I did know about the biker parties.
Yeah, goes off.
Yeah. Kick on! It's a kick on! Boom, 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 boom,
I was never invited. I was never invited. I was too small.
Yeah. Wow.
Rude. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Clearly
wow.
they didn't know.
Oh, well, you know.
They didn't know what I knew.
Were you missing out? That's the question.
I don't think so,
No.
to be fair.
Now, anybody who would like to leave a question for the lovely Holly, you can drop it. Find us on Facebook at Lance TV Ballarat, and the feed is live there, so you can join the feed. And Tony Louise goes, "Hi!"
Oh, bless.
With a smiley
That's
face.
how she would have said it.
Yeah.
Hi. There would have been a face.
Yeah,
You've
there
got to give
is.
a tilt. Yeah.
There is. It's like, it's one of those.
I don't know that I was that flattering. I just went,
Yeah,
it's
close
good.
enough.
It was good.
Now, interestingly, growing up in Broadford, as you did, there were 6 children.
Yes.
But you were the only female in that group. What was that like growing up with 5 brothers?
Well, it made me quite competitive, that's for sure. So I had a bit of a, if they can do it, why can't I? So there was a lot of that, and having a mother that would encourage such things as well.
Yes.
But there was a lot of like role reversal too, so it was really funny. So like she'd ask one of the boys to do the dishes one day, and they said, "Oh no, Holly should have to do that. She's a girl." And she thought, "Oh no, I don't think so."
Yeah. Nice.
And so they all had to do all of those duties, and she actually forgot to teach me. It was great. It was fantastic.
It was an absolute deliberate move on her
It was
behalf, wasn't it?
fantastic. Oh, I was putting the shelves together with her instead of, I wasn't doing that. No.
Oh, look at you.
And I still have no interest in domestic duties, if I'm honest. I do them, but
Begrudgingly. High school for you was a bit of a awkward time, wasn't it?
yeah, that's where, it'd sort of been there prior to high school. Like I was really introverted child, actually. It's hard to imagine now.
Very much
right?
so.
That I barely spoke, right? But then high school was when I really felt my differences come to the forefront, and I really felt separate from.
What was it? What was it for you? What made you different to the other kids?
I just thought differently and found things amusing that they just didn't find funny, like a homicide when done correctly. That's quite amusing, really.
Sure.
Yeah, especially if you get away with it.
Are you saying that's what you did in high school? Or?
But this sort of sick sense of humour just didn't land with these people,
Gotcha.
I had a really twisted sense of humour, but I was just interested in things that they weren't as well. Like I also enjoyed my art so much.
Yeah, talk to us about your art, because that's been a lifelong...
It has, yeah.
That's actually something that saved your life, isn't it?
It has, and many times, and it continues to. So I started as a little tacker. I always loved colouring books, and because I did have 5 brothers, I was quite happy to spend time on my own when I didn't want to do whatever rubbish they were doing. I don't want to play footy now. Or I would for a little bit, and then I'm like, I'm over it now. So I actually spent a lot of time alone. Even though that was a really full household, and doing things like Coronella. For any of you who remember Coronella in the Herald Sun, that went off for me. That was,
And for those of us who are not old enough to remember Coronella in the Herald Sun, let alone it being the Herald Sun, what was Coronella?
Well, first of all, you're missing out, and I'm so sorry. It was fabulous. So it was a page that it had, it would have a colouring competition, and then, the kids that were participating in it could write little things or do little drawings, little contributions to this page. And we were so poor growing up, so, anything like that where you could win stuff for free, Mum was like, you get on that. You're good at that, you do that. And I was very committed though as well. I loved Coronella. I came 3rd in the state. My first art award at the age of I can't remember. It was it was good times. I think I got a trophy or some shit as well.
Very
it was
nice.
Quite good.
That would have been great. Like
I went off.
Getting your first bit of mail in that this letter's for you.
Yeah. Oh, I was very excited. Yeah, and sometimes you get $5. Do you remember that? Like if you did one of the contributions and you'd get a $5.
I wasn't that good. I never got the fiver.
Never got the fiver.
Never got the fiver.
No. Well, I used to do the paper round too. So like every Saturday, I'd check, you know, the section and go, oh, I've been published. I've been published.
Right. Yeah, because they've published all the names.
That's
and
right. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. No, I mean, am I famous? I don't know.
Your
you
name
make
has
that
been
decision.
print. Your name has been in print.
Has been immortalised, you know. Yeah.
Amazing. What was Broadford like for you?
Oh, look, it's not my vibe.
Yeah.
Wasn't my vibe. So, look, the quickest and most efficient way to describe it was that it was homophobic, misogynistic and racist. And now I realise as an adult, oh, well, of course you didn't fit in, darling.
No.
And I'm quite proud that I didn't fit in. Of course I am. So that's fine. It makes sense now. But anyone who was different, I always gravitated towards them. You know, I was always after that person because they just made me feel okay about being me. And I liked them. They were more interesting.
And that's important, being a young person too, that for being that ability to be able to find someone who gets you, where you don't have to explain yourself or feel bad about yourself.
Yeah, and I didn't really get that till I was an adult, I don't think. I didn't get my tribe. I didn't find those people till I was older.
Well, we're going to find out more about that, but we are going to go for a short break. And when we come back, we're going to have some more of the wonderful story of Hollywood right after this break. Hello, Facebook. Looking in the thread, Grace Lee has turned up in the thread.
Oh.
So lovely to see you, Holly, tonight.
Oh, Grace is just gorgeous. Beautiful human being.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've had Grace on the show.
Yeah, Grace is fantastic. Yeah.
Amazing counsellor and psychotherapist.
Just human being.
Wow.
Just an amazing human being.
Gentle soul.
Yeah. I like to surround myself with people like that because they make me look really good.
No.
Do you ever do that? You know, like...
Not consciously. No, but please, go on, I might learn something.
How some people, you know, they might be intimidated by someone they find really attractive, whereas I'll like deliberately go and stand near that person and I feel like I might catch it or something.
Yeah,
like
nice.
if I rub shoulders with them, I'm like, I feel sexy. Yeah. Now I'm hot. You know, that actually makes me feel really good about me.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, I like them around.
Yeah.
You know.
Because you do have a huge energy.
I do, yeah. Yeah, it's a bit much.
No,
like,
well.
for others.
Can you tolerate it in yourself? Because that's all that matters.
Well, that's the thing, because other people go, you're very high energy. And I go, I have to live with this bitch. Like, how do you think I feel? You just got this 5 minutes. I've got to live with it.
Yeah, suck it up.
Suck it up. Come on, you've got it easy. Please.
24/7.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, because your energy is quite infectious too.
It is, yes. You will become infected.
without the rubbing of the shoulder.
Yeah, that's
either.
right. No, it's an infection that happens orally usually. That's how it's passed on.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
like a cough,
so
like COVID.
Just keep your mouth open and we should, you know. Might have a tube.
Oh dear, yes.
Maybe a tube.
A tuber. Look at you go. We're just killing a bit of time here. If you've got anything that you'd like to share or mention, or got a question for Holly,
we could
pop it
do
in
the
Facebook.
jellyfish.
I don't know if we've got that much time in this section, but we might
have to bring up the jellyfish.
Yeah, in the next one, and we'll be quick enough.
Now we've got them all talking.
Yeah,
they're like,
"Ooh,
what's the jellyfish? And they'll be so disappointed when they say
no, look,
they go, is that all it was?
all art is. Welcome back, Channel 31. You're watching Let's TV. I'm Lance Boyle, and I'm here with Hollywood.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I am. We all are.
That's it.
Darling, the masses are watching. Now, just so you're not missing anything in the thread, we're not going to mention anything, so you don't feel as though you're being left out. So, Broadford, you got out of there at in your sort of early 20s, give or take. You found yourself doing graphic design at Vic Uni. Tell
I
us
did,
about that.
in South Melbourne, yes. And I met the strangest person there when I first got there, and I thought, oh my goodness, isn't he fabulous? And he just got me. And I'm like, oh, there he is. These are my people. And then I met another one, and they were so strange and fabulous. You know, I could just breathe and be. And they celebrated me for who I was. You know, I didn't have to try and be anything other than me. And that's huge, isn't it? It's massive. It's a big deal when that happens for someone, you know. So, and any opportunity I have to do that for someone else, to make a space safe enough for them to be themselves, that's worth everything. It really is.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you found your tribe, and your tribe actually enjoyed doing all the normal student things, going out, kicking on, drinking lots of alcohol. That wasn't your initial sort of shtick, was it?
No, I was actually quite terrified of it because I was afraid of losing control. Like it scared me, and I never liked the smell or anything, you know. And so there was something about this, you know, keeping contained and that I didn't ever want to let loose, you know, because I had experienced some childhood trauma, you know, but I didn't understand what that meant at all at that age, or even when I got older, really. But there was this need to keep things controlled, and so yeah, I was afraid to, because I thought, what's going to come out if I do? What'll happen? Yeah.
The control thing for you was quite intense too. Like when we were putting this interview together, you were saying that you lived with anorexia, which is kind of another form of trying to control.
100%.
Talk to us a little bit about that.
So I was over-exercising a lot, and I wasn't giving myself enough food for the amount of exercise I was doing. It was crazy, you know, but I just didn't get it. I didn't understand. Not even I did at the time. There was one person actually who approached me in a non-judgmental way about it, and they were the only person to ask, because everyone was like, you need to eat, you need to, you know, the obvious things.
Sure.
And that was my brother, Shannon. And rather than ever judge me, he just said, what's going on for you? It's a simple question, isn't it? What's going on for you? What's that about? You know? And I was able to say to him, I don't really understand, to be honest. I don't see what you see, was one of the things I was able to say to him. You know, they're telling me I'm underweight, and I'm going, what are you talking about? I couldn't see it. Couldn't see that at all.
Yeah. And that's amazing when you're not able to see yourself.
Yeah.
In the way that other people see you.
Yeah.
In whatever context that might be as well.
That's right. Yeah. And I struggled with that for a while, but yeah.
After a while, though, you decided with your university mates that you were going to, you know, let loose and join the gang, and you, you know, started to lean into the booze and the good times.
That's right. There was this always, you know, I'm separate from, and things that made me feel different to other people, or there's always this thing, and that's why I'm not like them, you know. And so I thought, you know what, next time someone offers to buy me a drink, I'm going to drink it. And I just did. And the first time I drank was to absolute excess, and I was anorexic at the time, so I've starved myself of food, and then I've poured something that turned out, for me anyway, to be poison into myself. And I had no idea about quantity or anything. It was just, you drank until you dropped. There was no, oh, you know, one's enough or anything. I didn't have a switch for that. And I drank like that right from the beginning. And so it continued.
Boots and all.
Yeah, so it continued after that.
So you kind of released the beast within.
I did, yes, and she was quite the beast, actually. She's terrifying.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrifying, I tell you. But you know what? She was just trying to survive. I understand that now. I couldn't see it at the time, but I was so miserable. Like, I hated myself. I really hated myself. I couldn't live with myself, and I didn't understand why at the time. But it was this trauma that hadn't been treated, acknowledged even, you know, that I didn't even understand still.
Does that trauma have a name?
It's complex PTSD is the illness I've now been diagnosed with, but it was sexual trauma and it was incest, which I know is one of those words, you know, that we don't like to hear, but that was my story, you know?
right.
And so that, and because that happens in your family home, that should be your safe place, that's why I took to drinking out on the street. I felt safer out on the street on my own as a woman than I did in my own home. So I never felt safe anywhere. And I thought, well, who cares? If I get drunk, I'm not going to care.
Yeah.
I don't care that I'm unsafe because I'm not going to, I would drink to obliteration till I was numb and I could feel nothing else. Yeah.
You sort of ended up being good friends with ice, methamphetamines, speed, cocaine.
Yes, they were all very close acquaintances at that time, yes. They all fed into that. And methamphetamines in particular, they fed into that body dysmorphia as well, see, because you didn't feel hungry and you would lose weight effortltly as well.
You could go for days.
That's right, yeah, that's right, you know. Only 2 more sleeps till Christmas. From November.
Yeah. I was going to say from April.
Yeah, that's right.
I only slept twice.
Yeah, and I was just destroying myself from the inside out. It was devastating, it really was. I was just a shell of a human being. I remember looking in the mirror once and I didn't even recognise myself. I really didn't. I thought, who are you? I don't know. I don't even know you.
And that's the thing with trauma, though. It's that you carry the self-destruction. You trying to erase the dark shadows out of your mind, your quality, your self-worth, and so that the addiction just becomes another what's the word I'm after? Symptom of
That's exactly right.
Of what's happening.
Oh, no, it was my friend. You know, because it was doing what I needed to do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and your
it
friend
was.
was there, and when it was good times,
That's-
when it was bad times,
that's exactly
when you were by
right.
yourself, when you were with people,
Getting arrested.
Getting arrested. It was always there, and
Yeah.
it was consistent for you. You
That's
knew
exactly
that your
right.
friend would do X, Y, Z.
Yep.
And it was all good. Consistency is key.
That's right, yeah. And I understand all of that now and I'm really compassionate about it. You know, I don't look back at it and judge myself, I understand.
It's a bit of a saving grace for you later, you know, down the track. You found yourself at RMIT.
Yes.
And you'd gone back to do a diploma in
Visual arts.
visual arts.
Yes.
That was kind of a saving grace moment for you, wasn't it?
It was, absolutely. I was still drinking during that time, and how things operate when you're doing a visual arts or fine arts course is that you'll do your entire folio work for the semester and then you submit it at the end of semester and present it, you know, your own little exhibition sort of thing. And that time came up and I was looking in this little room I was using as my studio at the time, and I'm like, what have I been doing? Oh my goodness, I had not even half of the work that I should have been doing, and yet I thought I was working so hard and trying to control my drinking at the time. And it just all came to a head. Somehow, the thought of losing art really destroyed me. That really hurt me somehow. That hurt more than anything else. I disappointed people, and it sounds selfish, but it's a selfish disease. You know, I'd hurt other people, but what I couldn't live with was hurting me enough and losing art, because that was my survival thing. That really kept me going, because that had been there first too. That got in first. And it was the first time I fronted up to it. So normally, you know, you're drinking and you run away before you fail, or you run away before you get fired, or you run away before the partner breaks up with you, you know.
It's the dump and run moment.
Yeah, absolutely. You didn't break up with me because I did not give you the chance. Yeah, that was nice actually, wasn't that was good. I enjoy the odd sing-song, you know, a few
great,
words. It was really good. I mean,
Sing up, Louise.
But yeah, the first time I decided I don't know why either, but I went and handed it in anyway. And I'd come off like a 3-day binge or something. And there was this moment, I was in my bedroom and it was just black. That's all I could see. I was like, you know what, I can't do this anymore, I'm over it. I'm going to take my own life, you know. And I lived in a 3-story townhouse at the time, right? And I'm looking out the window and I'm like, oh, bloody hell, I'll probably survive. Because, you know, I'd actually fallen off a balcony like about 12 months prior, right?
Don't.
Landed on my back on concrete, 3 stories up, and I didn't break a bone. I did go to hospital the next day, only because I had a gimpy hand though, right?
A gimpy hand.
Yeah, that's what I call it. And I've gone to go pick up my drink, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, right, very
my
gimpy
drinking
hand.
hand, right?
Yeah.
You know, so I did go to the hospital.
Fix your drinking hand up.
Yeah. But I learned nothing, and this is what makes me an alcoholic, right? I'm in the hospital and I'm getting beer sent in. Why am I in hospital? Because of my drinking.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so I learned absolutely nothing. But so, you know, suicide comes up and I'm like, I'm going to survive that. You know, I could survive that fall. That'd be terrible. And then I thought, oh, you know, maybe I'll get a gun, I'll shoot myself, I'll call that person I know. And I'm like, oh, but I don't want to have to talk to him, you know. I overanalysed and complicated suicide so much that I was like, oh, now I'm just sleepy, you know. Oh, I'm just too sleepy to do it now, you know. Oh, it's really hard. So I didn't end up doing anything, but in that moment, there was a speck, and it really was a speck. It's the only way to describe it. A speck of hope that came and said to me, what if things could be different? What if you actually could stop drinking? What might that look like?
And on that note, we need to go for a short break. And when we come back, we will find out more about the lovely Hollywood right after this short break. There we go. Hello, Facebook, how are you? Sharon Turkovic has put in Livio Turkovic, like, oh, flagging, like, come and look. Stephen Pinelli's live in Ballarat for Treaty Day Out, Saturday, but lands TV, not on smart TV, please explain. I don't know how that works. I don't even know what a smart TV is, but we're on Facebook, so you can get Facebook onto your smart TV, Steve, you'd be happy, or you can watch it tomorrow on YouTube if you want. Put that on your smart TV. Don't actually understand the technicals of that, but Grace Lee, best interview this year.
Am I your favourite guest? I did want to ask you this actually.
You're my favourite guest today.
Yeah. No, I mean, I know that you can't really, you know,
You're all
be
my
diplomatic,
favourites.
but
You're all my favourites.
tell me after the show.
Yeah, that's right. You're all my favourites.
Yeah, you can tell me after. It's all right. I get it. We said that we would signal that I would. Yeah, I understand. Hey, I got the signal.
Yeah.
I know.
I love the check-in though. It's kind of like, am I your favourite? It's like, sure, yeah.
Knew it.
You're my favourite
Knew it.
today.
Yeah.
That's my most honest answer I can give you.
Yeah, that was the code word actually today.
Today.
Yeah, that was the code word. It's all right. I am picking up what you're putting down.
Well, you know, you asked for a pound of chopped liver and that's what you got.
I'm picking it up. I'm smearing it on the face.
Oh, weren't you going to do a jellyfish?
Oh, jellyfish. Of course.
Jellyfish, big
So
camera.
We figured this out, didn't we?
Oh, no, you have to go here.
Is it here?
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
because I'm wearing black. I sort of fade into the curtain.
There we go.
And so
Jellyfish.
I just sort of look a little
Just
bit
here,
like,
here at Facebook.
you know, limbs. You know, limbs and a floating head. Oh, hello, jellyfish. I mean, you know, is this going to make me famous?
Well, you know,
Is it
my legs would actually disappear as well if that's the
Yeah,
case.
yeah.
And I'm
So
kind of like this.
You would too. It's good, isn't it? I have to get down low because of your bloody Lance sign. I'm squatting. I didn't say I'd exercise. It's really hard.
2.5 minutes of jellyfish dance with Hollywood.
That was free as well.
That
That's
was free?
Yeah, I often don't do.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Welcome back, Channel 31. You're watching Let's TV. I am Let's to Boil, sitting here with the lovely Hollywood, and Holly did. And Holly, where I want to land now is all of that journey and turbulence and you know, revisiting yourself and all those bits and pieces after the joy that was RMIT and that speck of
Yeah.
moment, that speck in the distance that you sort of grabbed for. You found yourself transferring from RMIT to, I don't know what it was called back then, a BCAE?
It was Fed Uni.
It was Fed Uni in its early iteration?
Yeah. And it was really just a decision based on my finances as a student. I wanted to live alone, and my mum had moved to Ballarat by then to be with her husband. You know, it's nice when they can live together, isn't it?
That's helpful.
So I thought, no, I really want to live by myself now. I'm ready for that, and I want my own safe space. And so I happened to just look up real estate prices in Ballarat, and I was like, ooh, I could afford to live here and get a little place just of my own, me and my cat. Mondrian, his name is, by the way.
Very
Isn't
boogie
it
woogie.
fancy?
But did he dance the boogie woogie?
Well, he's an artist.
In yellow,
you know.
blue and red.
Oh, he's fabulous. And he wears a little bow tie when,
very nice.
you know, he stays still long enough for me to put it on. And it was fantastic. Yeah, so I transferred studies, and then I met these incredible humans when I was at Fed Uni. And I don't know if you've ever, there was a video I saw of Jane Fonda talking about, and Sally Field and Lily Tomlin. And Jane Fonda was talking about how she pursued these women, you know, friendships with these women. She's like, you will be my friend. I did that to Tony Louise and Brittany Warmeyer, who I'm now in business with, and Miss Meowington, one of our artists as well. I pursued them. I saw them at the table. I'm like, I'm going to sit with those freaks because they're my people.
Fantastic.
And I did. I pursued their friendship. I did.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And you spoke about going into business with Tony and Brittany.
Yes.
And through that, you put together the Femxle Experience Art Rebellion.
There you go.
Yeah.
I didn't want to help you.
I've got it written down. I
It's
just had to look down and
enjoyable
see it. Thank you. Yeah, look, when you're my age, like any word that comes out that's vaguely the right word is a good day.
It's close enough.
It's
Yeah,
close enough. Mongliani. And two sards. And but yeah, so you found these two other wonderful people who would sit with you and let you sit with them. Yeah. And you formed this collective. Talk to us about the initial beginnings of Fear, what became known as Fear.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a out there sort of thing to do. It was great. Talk to us.
So I had applied for space through Ballarat Evolve, and they're this fantastic initiative that place artists in like commercial spaces, shop fronts that have been empty for a significant amount of time. And so I'd applied for that quite some time ago, and then during COVID, good time to start a business, by the way. That's when I got the space, and I'm like, so would it be a good idea to start this now during this time? Absolutely, yes. Because opportunity is opportunity, right? And I will not let them pass by. So I did that, and I operated under just Hollywood Studio for about 12 months. And I had...
And that was just purely your own practice?
That was just me. Well, I had other people's work in there sometimes, and I actually ran exhibitions at the time too. So we'd have a different artist every month, and so bringing other people in right from the get-go.
Nice.
I wanted other people to be involved. I wanted to share it. But yeah, after about 12 months, now I've got a little one as well, and I'm a sole parent, and I was just working myself crazy to the point my mum cut me off. She sent me away for a weekend to Cryle Castle, and she said, you're not allowed to do any work, you're not allowed to have your phone.
Down tools.
Yeah. And she said, you can take your sketchbook. And that is it. Yeah, and it was great because that was during lockdown, so it was like staying in this abandoned castle. It was fabulous.
Great.
Or I just talked to a goat most days.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
So, but that was good to kind of centre yourself and ground again?
Yeah, but it was at that time that Tony and Louise happened to come in one day and said, oh, what are you going to do when your lease is up here? Have you thought about blah, blah, blah? And I said, oh, I don't really know yet. I haven't thought about it. I'm not sure. And she goes, what do you think about this? And she brought up the idea of having an art collective. And I said, yep, done.
Done, that's what we're doing. That is what we are doing.
Yeah, because it made sense. And I was like, yes, absolutely. So it sort of just formed and we fumble our way through, and that's so honest.
But that's art though, isn't it? Like
exactly.
You know, you have the idea
yeah.
and there's the outcome, but it's the bit in between where the discipline and the creativity and the art really happens. So to come up and get Fear up and running and be so successful was a creative work unto itself.
Yeah, absolutely. It was beautiful. And we looked for a common thread. That's how the name Fear came up, because we were all painting about or creating artwork about our own experiences as women, as, you know, women who identified strongly as being women. And that was the common thread, pieced us all together, and so that's where we sort of went for that title at the time.
Yeah, because even female was Femxle.
Yes, and that's an exclusion of a patriarchal narrative. Some people take it the wrong way, and that's okay too, but our reasons for it were quite innocent, but yeah.
But yet strongly political at the same time.
That's correct.
Amazing. Lovely balance of things. Just recently, Fear has rebranded now, known as TBH,
yes,
which is Tony, Brittany and Holly.
Yeah, but of course it's, you know, to be honest, people know it as that as well.
Oh, really?
And I find that quite amusing, you know, so I thought, oh, that works. And it's really funny actually, because Tony and I had the exact same idea of this name and we hadn't told each other, and then we brought it up and she goes, do you know why it's funny, Holly? I'm like, yes, because it's to be honest. And she's like, what? It was like when the two people invented the zipper at the same time, like at two different places in the world or something. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, it happened. It happened to a friend of mine. You know how it is. Yeah, but yes, so we came up with that, and yeah, and we've had to rebrand everything and slow things down and do all the paperwork. That's a lie. I don't know why I said we didn't slow anything down.
I tell you what,
10
though,
times harder.
I'm going to slow you down right now
quite
because we've come to the end of the interview.
Yeah.
Which means, Holly, you get to have this beautiful
Oh, stop it.
tiny pride bag. That's for you.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. Can you fit a small child in there?
No, but you
I
can
think
put
you
this
could.
photo of me that says I was on Let's TV.
Oh, that's so good.
You can fit that in the bag.
That is brilliant. I'll put it under my pillow.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'd enjoy that.
Yeah,
There you
I
go.
will. Because I only sleep on one side of the bed still, so I could fashion you something in crochet. You know, I could make you a 3D.
You know, that's starting to get a little bit creepy now.
You're so
We will
welcome.
go for a short break, and when we come back, we'll be in the last 10 minutes of the show. See you in a minute. We hope you enjoyed our interview with the very candid and very open Holly Wood. You can find Holly on Facebook at Hollywood Art. Lance TV will be back right after this. Hello, Facebook. Just looking in the thread. Sharon Turkovich, doing well, Holly. Johnny Wombat, hello everyone, late to the party as usual. CTV plus Stephen, there you go. So that's your answer. Stephen, if you've got the CTV plus app, you can watch Channel 31 on your smart TV. And Johnny Wombat, it's a good thing we can watch later on Facebook on Lance TV Ballarat. And you can also, these days too, Johnny Wombat watches on YouTube. Watch the whole thing live all over again, 24 hours after tonight. And for those of you who don't know who Johnny Wombat is, Johnny is one of the co-presenters of Out of the Can, which is a wonderful show on Channel 31, which puts Australian short film right in your face on TV. Great thing, along with their Offsider Goose. Tara Poole is in the thread. Such a beautiful person. Thank you. Love you, Holly. You make the world a special place.
Oh, Tara, she's a treasure. She does so much.
Johnny
for
Wombat,
everyone.
you could power Ballarat on Holly's energy. Lol. Tony Louise, so proud of you, Holly.
Oh, and do you know what? I know these women and I'm such good friends with them. She didn't need to say that and I already knew.
Yeah, there you go.
Already knew. Love you.
Charlie McLean, love y'all. Ange Elson, thank you for all you do for our community. Proper allies.
Oh, that's so
Yeah,
sweet.
and you are, actually you all are at TBH. You're great allies to the LGBTIQA+ community here in Ballarat.
We are. It's so important to us.
Yeah,
It's
right?
really important, yes. Visibility is just so important. Safe spaces, very big on that. Got a thing for safe spaces, probably because mine wasn't, you know, and I like to be able to facilitate that for other people, and we protect it too. We're protective of it.
I believe you are.
Yes, yeah, very protective of that space. It's important, you know, because there are so many places people don't get to feel safe.
Welcome back. Oh, we are doing all over the shop. Do you know what all over the shop
No.
is? But this is a bit of a whip around what's happening in Victoria. So tomorrow, House of the Heart at the Chinese Museum in Melbourne. That's on tomorrow from about 5:30 through or 7:30. Raw Art Exhibition tomorrow at Gallery 10. That's home to artist Linda Franklin, who's also in a evolved
Ballarat,
space, sharing the love. Yentl is on tomorrow at Malthouse. Papa, can you hear me? That's the only reason why I put that slide in. I just wanted to do that, but it's a run. It's on for the next 2 weeks. Peter Sparkman photographic exhibition at Chill Out at Radius Art, and that's from Friday the 8th of March all across the weekend. And there's, International Women's Day is on at the Ballarat Mechanics Institute. There's 3 of our wonderful female elders going to be speaking. It's Dawn, Helen and Jan, I think. Ballarat Begonia Festival, of course, is on next weekend. There's a new begonia to be seen. There's a parade, there's all sorts of stuff. But alternatively, maybe you just want to go over to Dalesford. On Sunday the 10th of March, in conversation with Scottish So, with Julie McLeod. Scottish So is going to be the most camp artist. Have you seen that work? Chill Out Parade Carnivale. No, it's not Carnivale, but still. 10th of March, Vic Park. Get yourself along there. If you're not going to hear the talk about Scotty So. Ballarat Spoken Word, where?
That's at TBH Studio.
Thank you, Marty Monster. That's been an ongoing project on Wednesday nights. I just thought I'd throw this in case people didn't know. Melissa Etheridge is touring Australia, and she can be seen at the Forum in Melbourne. It's the I'm Not Broken tour. And Ballarat Regional Multicultural Council is looking to get people of refugee, asylum seeker, cold backgrounds involved in doing podcasting. Very important to be able to share your story in your own language even, which would be great. They do great work there too.
Oh, they're fantastic.
Yeah. Holly, we're in the throes of the show now. We've probably got about 6 minutes or so. What subject would you like to entertain before we...
I mean, obviously I'd like to talk about myself. It's my favourite subject.
Sure. In the break though, we were having a conversation during the ad break about the importance of safe spaces. Do you want to talk a little bit about what safe spaces means for you, and what is it about safe spaces that drives you to make sure that spaces are safe?
There's just so few spaces in the world where people who are marginalised in some way, whether you're from the queer community, you're a person of colour, you have a disability, whatever that may be, anything that sort of separates you from the mainstream, even if it's the way you think or behave, whatever it is, there's no safe space for those people to operate and to be themselves without judgment, where they can just be and be free and unmask, as Lay spoke about, I believe, and they were discussing their work earlier. And that is so important to me, because I've often felt like I had to, do things to be okay. Now, I love when people come into TBH Studio, they walk in and they go, oh, and they just sigh like that, and they can be, they're okay. So you can be having a shit day and you can be there and be in that space and be having a shit day. You can cry, you can melt down, you can be whatever you are in any given moment in that space. And that is really important to me, to protect that. I have to, I have to do that because I'm responsible for that space. I am, and I take that responsibility seriously. I have people who do work experience with us, and so I have a duty of care to them, and I also have one to myself. I care enough about me today to do it for me too. So if someone compromises psychological safety, mental safety, physical safety, spiritual safety, sexual safety, they're out. And I know that might seem harsh to some people, but you know what? They get to operate everywhere else in the world. And I'm tired. I'm tired of it. Incest wasn't my only experience. As a woman, there was plenty. I've lost count, of the amount of times. I get to be safe in my workspace, and so do all of my tribe. They all come under my umbrella of care, as I call it. And no one has to say or give me a reason. They just have to go, they just say that person makes them feel unsafe, and that's enough for me. I need nothing else. They don't owe me their story to make them safe. So I think that I've got a triangle of safety in Ballarat. So it's TBH Studio, Piano Bar, and my house.
Well, there you go, the holy trinity of safety.
Yeah, so that's my triangle of safety. Yeah. Well, something I noticed about Piano Bar is I can leave my handbag, go out the front for a vape, right? And no one touches it. It's so weird. And it's just fantastic. I mean, these spaces are so important. We need more of them. But you have to be willing to do the uncomfortable things sometimes. I have had to ask people to leave. But when I get to have my darlings, the people that I love and cherish and care for, when they say to me, "Thank you for doing that, Holly," and they get to breathe easy again, that is worth everything. I don't regret it. I don't like doing it. I don't. But it is worth it for that. And I will have a say there,
Not everybody does confrontation well.
Yeah.
Has that been, just given the story that you shared with us tonight, that ability to just deal with confrontation?
Yeah, I think my bluntness helps, to be honest, because I say this is what's happening. And they don't ever question me, which I think speaks volumes sometimes. They've never questioned me. But I also say it in such a way that, you can go on your own or, up to you.
Yeah.
But that's important. It really is. There's not enough of it in the world. And I am happy to take that responsibility and do things for people when they can't do it for themselves sometimes. I know how it feels to not be able to do something for yourself. I do. But I can now. How good is that? I've built myself up. I can do that now, and I respect myself and others enough to do that for them.
Well, you've in your own story, you've psychologically, physically, and spiritually came from nothing.
Yeah.
And then RMIT was that turnaround point where it was like, you know what? Never again.
Yeah. And I'm completely liberated. That's what I do with my art. I'm completely authentic. One night, right, I'm bursting into tears because I was having PTSD moments, right? And I'm crying, sitting at the kitchen table. And I was like, this is so beautiful. I should film this, right? Because it was real. It was real. And I didn't want anyone to, say, oh, I'm so sorry to see. It wasn't for that. It was to say, hey, I can be me, how you've seen me out and about, and I can still be having this. And I can still be okay. I can be all of those things. And I love it. And I've done a project just this week that demanded that of me, and it just had to come out. It's been sitting inside for months.
Is that the piece we were talking about before? If you go to Holly's Facebook page, Hollywood Art, there is such an incredibly powerful image, which is a recent work from Holly, and it's amazingly powerful.
Yeah, there's lots of them. I did a whole bunch that day, and it was releasing pain. But of course, what's underneath the pain? So pain, you think of it as that's the secondary emotion, but what's underneath the pain? Love. That's why I was feeling pain, because I loved someone and they got hurt. And so I experienced pain because I loved them. Yeah. And so then, so after I've taken all of these photos, my shed looked like a crime scene, by the way, after that. I went inside and I showered to get it all the paint off me. And after I got out of the shower, I just collapsed on the bathroom floor and just cried for 20 minutes.
Cathartic.
Yeah. And again, I don't say this, this isn't sad, this is beautiful. This is
Well, it's real. It's
beauty
reality.
in that, yeah.
Holly, I hate to cut you off at this point, but we do have to wrap up the show. Thank you so very, very much for just giving so much of yourself tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. You've been watching Aaaaand TV. We look forward to seeing you again next week. We will be coming to you live from the Palais Theatre in Dalesford for Chill Out. Until then, remember to be kind to each other, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye now.
Thanks for watching Aaaaand TV. We'll be back same time next week. Aaaaand TV is made possible through funding from the Community Broadcasting Foundation. I'm voiceover guy Randall Smith. See you next time.